I want my kids to see that when they grow up. I want to see me be passionate for what I do, and then them in turn go, I want to be passionate for something someday.
Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez.
And me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
Spencer Smith, CrossFit Donelson. First and foremost, I've told you this in person. You're a fit dude. You're a fit dude.
Just trying to keep up with you.
No. You, I mean, let's be candid. You do show up with your shirt off to Zoom calls often.
Only in the summer. It's hot, you know?
You live in Tennessee.
It's Tennessee, and I used to, the calls used to happen right after, like, my morning workout. And so I'd, like, come in there, like, just steam coming off of me, shirt off.
Tennessee's that weird state where it's, I would call it a warm weather state, but you do get some cold weather.
Yeah, we were in the single digits earlier this week.
Everybody. Florida was in the single digits.
True.
Do you get snow annually?
Usually. We usually get a couple days of it sometime in January, February. So.
Okay, but 4 kids.
4 kids.
What are their names?
Liam.
You had to think way too hard, man.
I had to think. There's so many kids. Liam, Clark, Oliver, and Rose.
Liam, Clark, Oliver, and Rose. I like it. How old are they? This is a tough one.
5. Clark will be 4 in 2 months, and the twins just turned 2.
So Oliver and Rose are twins? Mm-hmm. Wow. So you have 4 kids under 5?
When they were born, it was actually 4 under 4, but yeah, they're 5 and under now.
Okay, so next question. How are you alive?
I'm pretty sure this is just a fever dream. I'm still in like a coma somewhere.
I'm always impressed. Anyone with kids, period. But I mean, 4 is crazy. It's, as a business owner, man. Tell me some of the things you must have to do.
Well, I mean, credit to my wife. She is superwoman. So like that.
Shout out to all the
100%.
All the moms out there.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm running my business and parenting as much as I'm able, but she's doing it, basically
she's running
full-time.
The real business.
She's running the real business, and she's a baker on the side too. So,
is she?
Yeah. So when we found out we were going to have the twins, she knew that she wasn't going to be able to work as a nanny anymore, which is what she did for up until she had the first 2 kids.
Oh, gotcha.
And then she said, well, what can I pivot to? And she's always loved baking, and she's really good at it. And she's actually specifically a gluten-free baker because all of our kids have a gluten allergy.
How'd you raise such weak kids?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
it's my fault, I'm sure.
But Bodie, my youngest, is like going through this like esophagus stuff, and they're doing all these tests. He's like allergic to dairy, I'm like, what did we do? How do we raise such a soft kid? And I'm trying to like, Roz, give him dairy to get him to be able to eat dairy.
Build his immunity to it.
Yeah, but we live in a soft society, Spencer.
Yeah, must be it.
What would you say is your wife's best baked good?
Oh man, don't ask me that. Oh geez.
Well, she'll make it for you if she's watching.
Oh yeah. What she's best at? Maybe cinnamon rolls. She's really stinking good at those.
That's a good thing to be good at.
But honestly, if I have to pick my favorite, it might just be like her classic chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Well, I would say like, if I were gonna hire a baker, it would be like make your chocolate chip cookie, right? It's like, because if you do that well, I already know everything I need to know as a baker.
Yeah, she kills it. And one of her most popular ones that she sells a lot is Pop-Tarts, which is like she home bakes Pop-Tarts and sells them to coffee shops, and they're just like crazy. People are crazy about them.
Pop-Tarts are like the Brussels sprouts of bakeries, meaning like.
I'm waiting for you to make that connection. I want to hear
like
this.
Brussels sprouts are having this resurgence, right? And like Pop-Tarts for a long time got stigmatized as like unhealthy. Then people are eating them because they're carbs and like low fat post workout. But now they're like a delicacy, like a homemade one.
Oh yeah.
Because I was in D.C. with Roz years ago. Ted's Bulletin. I remember this. How much I remember. Then they made homemade Pop-Tarts, and I was like, oh, these are so much better than like the Kellogg's you get out of a bag.
Yeah. When I ate it, I was like, this tastes like a Pop-Tart, but also. Not like the ones I grew up
healthier,
like microwaving,
right?
Yeah. Oh, it was so well. I'm not going to go as far as to say they're healthier, but they are delicious.
They're gluten-free.
Yeah,
they're gluten-free.
Right.
Here's what I want to talk about. You've been with us. This must be your 3rd year.
I'm heading into my 3rd year. Yeah.
Heading into your 3rd year, and you are someone that has always been really passionate. about CrossFit.
Yes.
But, Fern, passion has a shelf life. And you were at that candle was down to the end.
Yeah, for sure.
But here you are. Mm-hmm. And you're doing really well. You're always growing. You've gotten over the great oil spill in your box, right? There was a oil spill. What was it? Maybe it wasn't oil.
I mean, we've had some flooding issues.
But something from the landlord happened.
Oh, and I forgot I've told you about that. So our gym is on the bottom floor of a building, and our landlord runs like a food kitchen upstairs where they make vegan food. And there's leaks in the floor, but they had a big pile of like canola oil. That like poured up, and it dripped down on our floor while I wasn't there one night, and caused all these crazy bubbles in my rolled
I remember
up
being on the
expensive
call.
flooring.
And you're like, there's an oil in our. I was like, how is there oil?
Yeah, so it took us forever to figure out what it was, and then he was real hesitant to be like, well, maybe you did something. Maybe I'm like,
maybe
this is
you
not
had a
me.
bunch of canola oil in your gym.
Yeah, so finally he was like, oh yeah, somebody had just left a big pool of it on the floor.
He knew it. He must have known it.
I understand the guy wanted to be, check and make sure. But once he realized, he was like, okay, this is definitely my thing. I was like, well, here's the bill to replace this strip of flooring.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he did it?
He paid most of it. I covered the shipping, but yeah.
All right, gotcha. So I do remember that. So, but anyway, because how long has the box been open now?
Over 5 years.
And I think that's about the right time for burnout. When not done well.
Yes.
I would say not done well. When not under some guidance and systems and 4 kids in the meantime. Where were you when you found us, and where was that candle?
When I joined with Best Hour, or when I first found the podcast?
All right, give me both.
Okay, I found the podcast, honestly, not too long after we opened, because you guys had
it was
already
about
been
the
on.
right
Yeah,
same time almost.
Yeah, we opened in 2019, and you'd been on podcast for probably, I don't know, maybe 100 episodes at that point or something. And I started listening to you guys and just really resonating with everything that you guys were saying. And we had worked with companies, by that point we'd worked with one business company, CrossFit Mentors Company. And everything they taught us was like, it helped a little bit, but it just didn't vibe with our vision. And I was hearing you guys saying these stuff like, make group classes great again. And like, you can run a profitable box with like CrossFit. It can be done right. And I was just like, yeah, this is for sure. Somebody's doing it, so it's possible to do it. And so I kept listening to you guys. We worked with another company, between our first and y'all. And hindsight 2020, wish we hadn't done that, but that's a whole different story. But then we, after about listening to you for about 2 years, we were at a point where I knew we were heading down. We were heading to the bottom. It was clear that we weren't heading in the right direction.
After working with
2 other companies.
2 other companies.
2 other companies to mediocre and detrimental results.
Wow.
And so we were already kind of.
Say that. We'll be good.
I'm not naming names. So,
we'll be good.
I mean, and if they have other great clients that work well, that's fine. But it didn't work for us, and it was almost like emotionally, like my co-owner and I felt like we told each other at one point, we feel like every call with them every week, we need to go to a therapist after our call because it was just like we felt depressed.
No, I've been with mentors in that where you're like, I feel worse now.
Yeah. And there was very little guidance in the sense of like one that we worked with was very structured and regimented. It was like do this point by point, but a lot of it we didn't feel was right. So we're like, maybe that's not for us.
Right, and to a fault, it's like, well. It's very cookie cutter.
It was cookie cutter. And then the other one was very open. It was very much like figure it out yourself.
Go by your feelings.
You need to learn how to do this on your own. We can't tell you what to do. I'm like, what kind of...
And I would say we're somewhat in the middle as mentors where it's like, these things clearly work, but it also has to... It's like CrossFit, right? Like constantly very functional movements at high intensity work. The art is in this programming of how we deliver it to you.
Yeah, no, and y'all's coaching was the perfect balance because you had the systems, you had the structure, which we needed, and we needed the guidance, but there was also a lot of make this fit for you, make this right for you and your vision. And that's why I loved that when we first signed up with you, one of the first things I did with Fern was, hey, after the money map and all the intro stuff, it was, hey, find your vision, find your core values, and don't just go through it and just kind of check boxes, but like really think about this stuff, really look internally and see what you want. And so when we initially decided to sign up with y'all, it was scary for us because it was either like we knew we were eventually going to go down if we did nothing, but it was also, it was what do we have another bad experience kind of thing.
That was going to be my follow-up. That is really courageous. Like how did you make that decision? Because at some point you're like, this mentor game, especially in this CrossFit niche, just doesn't work.
Right. There was definitely an element that felt like that. So
what was it?
Well, I talked to
you were gonna say?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I saw you and just thought this guy's gonna lead me
the
to
other
greatness.
way. This is why we're not gonna do it.
No, like y'all were saying all the things that I thought, if I can run my gym the way that I see my vision and that aligns with what they're saying and be successful, that's all I want. And seeing you guys talk about it made me think, okay, this is possible, and I want to figure out how to do that. And so I talked to my business partner, I spoke with my wife, and we all agreed that, this is the last chance, but we're going to give it our shot. And so we did. And there's definitely been some ups and downs. It took time for our business to turn the ship around because it didn't happen immediately.
And it won't.
It won't, yeah. So it took at least 6 months for us to even level it out, and then another 6 months to start making some positive progress.
And I would tell anyone, the changes you make today, they're going to take a year to see. It'd be like going to the gym and working out for a week and be like, I still look fat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It took you, 46 years to be fat.
Right.
It's going to take some time to do that.
We've been 3 years of running the business, I'll be honest and say poorly. And so I was
what were some of the things that you would say?
Oh, man.
Are they too painful or too many? Yeah. Give me maybe 2 or 3 things you're like, especially if it was like they were telling us to do it this way, and then we changed because you guys told us to do it this way.
Well, there were kind of 2 extremes of all the structure and no structure, and I think we'd fallen somewhere where we had a little bit of structure that we had taken, but it was not run well, and I didn't understand the why behind it. So, like for instance, bringing in new people into the gym, there was just lots of holes there. Like people were probably calling, and I was completely missing the calls or missing the forms on the website or whatever it was. I wasn't, approaching things the right way when it came to the interview process and the sales process. I didn't understand the mindset I needed to be in for that. So that was a big thing right there. I was coaching well, but I wasn't doing the things that was making the classes, enjoyable and keeping the business running well. And like, it is one of the biggest things, actually, now that you say it, planning. Being proactive and planning ahead was such a huge game changer for me. I was reacting to everything.
Like, what were some of the things you're planning now?
I mean, just like events. I'd be like 2 weeks before Murph. I'm like, oh, we should put something together for Murph. Yeah, all right, that's right. Murph's coming up in like 2 weeks. Hey guys, we're doing this workout in 2 weeks. You should know about that. I mean, to some extent, it was kind of like that. And so we just didn't have. It just felt like we were just barely hanging on to the railing, and like everything was just kind of falling apart. But the planning ahead was a huge thing for us. We were able to be proactive. We're able to get out ahead of things, and that's huge. It makes people at the gym feel, more stable because it is. Everything's more on track.
Yeah, you feel that.
Yeah. It shifted the energy.
Yeah, and that takes a while, like you said. It's like changing the direction. But yeah, you're right. When you're always reacting, it's like your kids, right? Like there's when are my kids the most calm? When I'm the most calm. Mm-hmm. And if you're like, we're doing Murph in 2 weeks, it's not just the announcement. It's like, now we're changing the programming, and by the way, stay after to do pull-ups. It's like it's a whole stressor for everyone.
Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly it. It was my energy was feeding their energy, and it wasn't positive at the time.
So you mentioned one of the first things you did was your mission and values. Mm-hmm. How did that impact you? Because we were having a conversation earlier with Zev and Aaron, and so many people delay that one. It's like, can I just work on the money, and can I just, do an ambassador? Like, I got to figure out my stuff. And you also mentioned mindset. By doing your mission and values, how did that impact the way you ran the gym?
Well, number one, you're right. I wanted to skip it. I was like, we have core values. I've done that.
I know my values.
Yeah, I know my values.
What are
good,
they?
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to work out.
Community and virtuosity. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But really going back and digging back into them helped me to solidify the ones that were already in place, but understand them better. Yeah. And then even think further about like, what do I really want to see? And really it was the vision, because the core values, I knew what like my personal values were, but how did that feed into the vision of the gym long term? And yeah, we all have dreams about I want to have this type of gym, and I want to be able to do this, financially, or I want to be able to have this many members or whatever. But what do I really want to accomplish, impact with the gym? Fern talks about the pyramid. Impact is at the top. So I had to really think about the impact that I wanted to have too.
Well, and you mentioned like kind of like Tosh spoke about this morning, like people's excellence is my value. Like, what does that mean?
Right.
All right, guys, if you like this content, please subscribe to the podcast. But understand, we work with affiliates. If you are interested in building your business, understanding strategy, building a better community, and building better coaches and careers for them, hit the link somewhere around this video, and we'd love to have a call with you. I get asked all the time, what gym software should a gym owner use? And the short answer is, I don't care. What I care about is the companies like PushPress design software that helps gym owners run better businesses. So if you're working with a software company, you're not happy, and you don't know what to do with the information that software gives you every single day, check out PushPress. They've got built-in systems like the 180-day journey that we helped them build inside of PushPress Grow that'll help you interact with your clients at a better clip in order to improve your retention. So if that's something you're interested, reach out to those guys at PushPress and help you run a better box today.
So you had your personal values, and then how did that change your vision for the gym moving forward?
How did my personal values change it, or how did the exercise of like the values of the vision of the gym?
Both. I mean, it's hard to be an affiliate owner and not have your own personal value. They should.
Right, yeah.
So digging deeper into your values and then doing the exercise, how did that shift the vision, if at all?
Well, so when I first did the exercise, I sent it to Fern, and he sent it back and said, hey, be careful, these aren't your personal ones. And he even said, he was like, because some of these seem like things that you might want personally, but may not be what you want for the business.
Oh, do you remember?
Yeah. So one of them was, I think it was freedom, or maybe it was independence, one of those two words.
Right, where it's like you don't want your members to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I
right?
wanted this value for my life and be able to, I want to have the freedom to do what I need to do because my business is running well, but I don't necessarily want my gym to just be like, oh, this is a place where I can just go and have independence and be free. So it was that kind of thing. Or, I'm personally, one of my personal values is, whether you want to call it religion or, faith or whatever, that's a huge personal value for me.
And you don't allow Jews at your box. Is that what you said? You said
Ackerman? No, that's not what I said. No, I want people to feel, I want everyone to feel like they can walk into my box at any time, regardless.
As long as they love Jesus.
Don't put, this is not internet. This is not what's happening. No, I want everyone to feel like they can walk into my box and feel comfortable there. Yeah. And everyone in my box knows, I think most of them know that my personal beliefs are one way, but they also understand that is not the gym. I had a member early on go, oh, well, is this a, I think you used the word, is this a Christian box? And I was like, I wouldn't call it a Christian box. I would call it a box that just, we value fitness, and fitness is for everyone.
Why would you think, like?
Well, because, I mean, I guess he knew that I was, or maybe he saw my tattoos. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a big leap to like.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. I said, oh, I'm a Christian. He goes, oh, is this a Christian box? And I said, no, not at all. So, like personal values separated from my business values are different. But I think that knowing my personal values and being able to separate them, and then having the values for the business was a huge thing.
Yeah, and I love like Fern's pushback because it's tough because it's like it is your, and not, I know we're joking, it's like, but I would say what you're saying is true, like I'm Christian or I'm this religion, and it's like what I'm really saying is you're allowed to be you.
Yes.
Right? And like but it's a different value for you than it is for the gym.
Right. Well, my gym, if there's a religion in my box, it should be fitness.
Yeah.
Right.
We all have the same religion. We're here to, increase work capacity across broad time and modal domains.
Right.
Yeah.
What I've told people since the beginning of when I opened my box is my goal for you may all have your own individual goals, to lose weight, to look good naked, to feel better, to have more energy. All those are great things. My goal for you is that this hour of your day improves all the other 23 hours of your day. That's the only goal I really have for my business.
Amen. You make him say amen at the end of every word?
Yeah, and we actually do the was it the no.
You don't even know it?
No, I don't even know. I'm not a Catholic.
Oh, that's a Catholic thing?
Yes, I think so.
Is it different? Okay. So
we're so getting canceled for this one. This is ruined.
Just me, don't worry. So you go through that exercise, and it helps you really think broadly about your vision, and the ship starts to redirect, if you will. Mm-hmm. What were some of the things you were noticing inside the walls as that was happening before it kind of completely shifted directions?
Well, I think I noticed with myself first, and I don't know if maybe that's typical, I don't know, but I noticed with myself, I started to feel more comfortable and confident in the things that I was doing, whether it was...
it is. It's like leadership, right? You're like, well, if I'm like, because then all of a sudden the kids are, dad's...
Follow the leader, yeah.
Right, dad's getting his act together. Like, we have guidance.
Yeah, so I mean, whether it was sales or operations or events or now that I have a team coaching development, everything started with me, and I felt more comfortable. I felt more confident, and it felt nice that I was like, oh, somebody's steering the ship. Oh, it's me. I'm steering the ship now, and I wish I'd always been, but I was steering it poorly. But now I'm steering the ship, and so that started to bleed into the gym, of the energy of the gym. People started having more fun. People started feeling more confident.
Feel safer.
Yeah, safe. That's a great way to put it. And they were always getting fitness if they were showing up
consistently.
They weren't
like in inherent danger.
No.
But it's like, there is this like aspect of like, I love this place, but I'm worried it's not going to be here. How attached can I get?
And that I felt that vibe from me to them, and then from me to it was like a circular thing. But you're right. There was a sense of, oh man, should I worry about my CrossFit gym? Is it still going to be around? But even before we had sorted out all the worked back into the black of the finances, we started to have that sense of, oh, there's support here, there's structure here, and that was one of the biggest things that Affiliate U provided me in the first year with you guys. There's definitely been compounding things that have helped since then. But the first year was definitely the structure.
You have to rewrite that. And Fern, to his credit, is like the best in the world at that. Like at many things, but like, hey, because he's a great leader, right? And he's like, let's turn this ship, and he's that patience it takes and trust for you to be like, I'm following this guy. And this ship is turning so slowly, but it's going, right? Like, it takes trust in him and doing all these, like you said, doing these small things. And
well, it's like we tell our athletes, trust the process.
It's exactly like that.
I have full faith that if you show up, 3 to 5 days a week in my CrossFit gym, you're going to see that progress. If you're eating meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, low starch, or sugar, you're going to see the progress. But they can't see it. So they have to trust in what I'm telling them. On the next level, you guys are guiding us, and there will be times where I'm like, is this really going to work? I hope it's going to work, right? But we trust it, and then a year, 2 years, and further down the road, we're seeing those results. And the more we see the results, the more we think, oh, this is going to work. We'll take the bigger leap next time because we know it's going to work.
Well, it's like we spoke with Ryan about a rate increase, and everyone's always stressed out. And it's the same. It's like, we've done this. And it's like you've said, you've seen hundreds of people come through your gym, and it's like, I know if you eat meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and you do this thing 3 to 5, the results will. I'm 1,000%. Like, I'll guarantee it.
Right.
So you mentioned like, okay, the first year was all about kind of turning the direction. What has year 2 been about?
Oh, year 2. It's interesting. It shifted because I had one goal at the beginning of this year that we didn't reach, but I have accomplished other things throughout the year that I'm
beginning of year 2, not 2025.
Yeah, sorry. Beginning of 2024, which is our beginning of our year 2. I had goals for membership growth.
Okay.
We didn't reach those, and we will get there eventually. But I'm kind of glad that I was able to work on other things, because this past year we've been about growing and developing my team, which has been a huge thing. Because I don't think if we had grown the gym more without developing my team more, I would have went back up square one, bottom dropped out. It would have felt like all starting over.
Foundation.
Yeah. So developing my team, continuing to kind of refine the systems. I went back through a lot of the exercises and refined a few things, and that's been great. But honestly, I've been consistent with the calls, which has been huge.
I appreciate the fact that every Monday. No, I mean it. Like, I love that Monday call. It's our Monday momentum, and it's my connection to the community still, right? And I think there's a point in time where a lot of people are like, I get it. We're all celebrating each other. But it's like the people that show up to that consistently, like, and it's no surprise, the people I've interviewed today are the people that are on that call, because it's like a connection, and it's the beginning of your week, and it starts your week right. And it's like, if you up on it's no different than the members that show up on Monday, show up on Tuesday, right? It's noticed that you've been doing that for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't
sweaty, shirt off, winter, doesn't matter.
Hey, you got to give the people what they want, Jay. You know what I'm saying?
I want it.
Well, apparently you want. Was it Ricky Beasley? That's who you really want.
There's a few guys that I want. Yeah. Not
no,
the only one.
I wasn't as consistent on the calls my first year, and so and partially because I thought, okay, I'm just going to do what I can, basically. I felt like I was drowning, so I was just like, I'm just going to get what I can. So I was going to my small group calls and things like that, but I wasn't as involved in the coach development calls and the Monday calls. And year 2, I said, okay, some things I'm going to do, I'm going to be at like every call I can. So I'm at Monday, I'm on my calls. I set it in my calendar every 2 weeks. I book 2 weeks out for Steve's calls.
You like Steve?
I love Steve. Yeah. Steve's awesome, man.
Well, why did you decide to hop on Steve's calls?
At the time, it was just, okay, this works with my schedule. But then once, I'm a creature of habit. I mean, we all are, right? But once I got on Steve's calls at that time, now it's like if Steve's like, well, I had to change my schedule this week, so now my call's an hour earlier. I'm like, well, I'm moving things around, you know? Yeah. I like having that.
It's nice to have that consistency, too.
I like having that consistency. But, I mean, everybody on the team's great. I know that if I hop on any call, everybody's going to be great. But having the consistency, you know, Monday, Tuesdays, I do my study hall Wednesdays, and I do my coach development calls. Sorry, Lindsay, I haven't been there the last couple weeks. I do my coach development calls on Friday.
How about on the study hall?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we do within Affiliate U. We have 2 blocks a week, 90 minutes, where it's just like get to work, holding each other accountable. Lee or Katie typically on there. And it's cool that you're hopping on there.
It's great. It's no pressure. You just get on there, and I honestly forget that I'm on it. Usually when I'm on it,
that's the point.
Yeah, you're on it. You turn it off. It's in the corner of the screen, or it's something else pulled up, and there's someone will suddenly hear an hour and a half later.
It's accountability. You know?
Yeah, but it forces me. There are some days where I'm like, well, I wasn't planning on doing anything during this hour, but I'm here. And suddenly I've gotten, this needs to get done, or this needs to get done. So it helps me stay focused, and it blocks out that time for me, those 2 hours a day or a week or whatever it is.
So as this is happening over the last 2 years, what has been the feeling for you internally as far as passion goes? Because it's really hard to regain it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think it ever went away, but like you said, the candle was really close. So real quick timeline. We joined with Affiliate U. It took us probably 6 months to kind of right the ship. Right about 6 months in, we had kind of a personal struggle going on in our family, personal kind of like crisis. And financially, the gym was not turned around yet. So we were just like everything, perfect storm. Everything was rough. And I emailed Fern and said, this is what's happening. This personal details. What do I do? And he said, let's get on a call right away. And Fern hopped on a call with me like the next day. And we had a deep conversation about like real life stuff. And he said, you have to decide what's right for you and your family and the future of your business. And if you need to still be doing this. And so I didn't expect him to say that. He was like, you might need to close your doors. That might be the best thing for you and your family right now. And so, you know.
Fern's so good at like objectively speaking.
Yeah. And I was afraid to hear that because I thought, I'm going to be a failure. If I do this, I'm a failure.
But sometimes you just need that permission, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he kind of gave me that permission. And so of course, I talked with my wife. I talked with my co-owner, my business partner. We all talked about all these things. And I said, look, I've been working hard, but like Fern said, like you've been doing all the work and it's working. You just got to give it time. I said, I'm going to really dig deep. And he said, you need to have goals by this point. Very objective metrics of financials and membership and all this other stuff. And I said, if we can get here by the end of this year, then, and my wife said, okay, well, if that happens, then we can continue on. But if that doesn't happen, we're cutting the cord. And that was probably the hardest I worked for the next 3 months of my life, was just like I buried myself in what do I need to do to make this happen. And I don't think it was just then. I think all the work I'd been doing before that was starting to show up.
Yeah.
Was such a huge thing.
The back end of that boat was turning fast enough, right?
And it was, whether it's a God thing or whether it was just, the right timing,
we'll
whatever you want to call
it.
Me. But it worked out just in the right timing. And this past year has been much, much better. I honestly forgot what even the question was, but that was
when did you?
The passion.
The passion,
right?
Yeah.
So at that point, that was the point where I was my lowest of like, I don't have any. I can't find the passion for it right now. I'm just like trying to keep my head above water. And that turnaround, that like revitalization of the business, where the business was like, oh, we can not only survive this, we can get stronger, and we'll be better now than we were before we started this. That was like, it allowed me to breathe and take a step back and revisit why I'm doing this. And I remember that I'm doing this to make an impact on the people in my gym, as well as to make an impact on my family's life for the future. And that those two things, that my why, it reinvigorated what I do or what I want to do. And then it was like people started coming out of the woodwork. Oh, I want to go take my level 1. I was like, oh, really? Cool. So then within a few months, I had 2 more people that had just taken their level 1. And I said, well, great. Let's start getting you on the internship process and start working you as a coach. I think you'd be a great coach. And they came along and they had that passion that I recall from when I first started coaching. I was like, I see it, but I don't want to just let it burn out or ignore it. I want to nurture it.
You know, you said like came out of the woodwork, and going back to what we said, it wasn't, right? It was like you, with your passion reignited and being a better leader, cultivated that. Like they didn't just be like, oh, I'm getting my level 1.
Right.
They felt it. Like the Spencer from 2 years ago, they were still there, but they're like, this isn't exciting or motivating, and I don't want this. That dude's stressed out. His gym's failing. Where like you became a leader, and like when your passion is burning brightly, you can pass that flame on to others.
Yeah,
right, and people feel it, and like I want that too.
Yeah, and I want that to be true of me, you know, in perpetuity. I want my kids to see that when they grow up. I want to see me be passionate for what I do, and then them in turn go, I want to be passionate for something someday.
That's, you know, earlier today when I'm like, who's left their job? It's like, I get excited for people because they're doing what they love, but I get even more excited when you have kids and it's like, they see it, right? Especially now where it's like, we live in a world where it's like, don't overdo it. Don't work too hard. And I want my kids to be like, Dad worked hard, right? Same for your 4 kids where it's like, Dad busted his butt and we know how hard he worked and look at the prosperity. And my
wife reminds me of that. When I get really down about something happens and I'm having a rough day, I'm like, oh, you know, why am I doing this? And she, you know, when I could be, you know, there've been times in the past where it's like, you know, I'm not providing enough for us or whatever it is. And she goes, you're doing something that is you're not only passionate about, but you're having a positive impact on all of these people. Think about all the people that you've had that impact on, and they're going to see that.
Oh yeah, they're going to see it. Yeah, it's so true. And like, even like going away, right? It's like you're gone. We miss our kids, right? Like when you're away. I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to get away. But
no, I miss them.
Yeah, I miss them too. I swear. But in that time too, it's like, hey, Dad went away and worked hard. He missed us, but that's important time too. For like you said, for them to see that you're giving them something invaluable. And
it's important for the gym too. Like a year ago, I would not have been able to be here. Like I came to the Nashville Mastermind because I lived in Nashville, so I could like hop there and come back. But I mean, being able to be here and I know that the gym is doing fine right now, and I can take a few days and pull away from it and then come back, and it's like it's going to run smooth, right? And I look forward to more of that in the future, where I can next time I can take a week off, or next time I can take 2 weeks off, and eventually when the gym is running with less of my involvement. And that's one of the things that's one of my goals for this upcoming year is to see me grow in an ownership role, so that I'm working, from not behind the scenes, but from above a little bit more than just being in the day-to-day as much.
Yeah, working on the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you are an inspiration as a husband, a father of 4, which is impossible for me, and
we do what we have to, right?
Yeah, we do what we have to.
Wait, you've got 2, right?
2, yeah. So I have like half as much.
Well, but you just got to have a set of twins and you're there, right?
Yeah, if that happens, first of all, I have to talk to my wife and be like, what's going on? But yeah, let's 2 is good. 2 is good, Spencer.
2 is good.
You are an inspiration. I love seeing it. Like, I truly get fired up. I know Fern raves about you. Like, Fern does not rave about people in life. He doesn't rave, period. But he always is just impressed by you, and he lets the team know.
Well, that's encouraging to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, so good stuff. I look forward to seeing you on Monday calls. Shirt off, please.
I'll do what I can.
You're jacked, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing over there, CrossFit?
Well, I told you my wife's a baker, right? So we've, it's a little bit more of a struggle now.
Oh, I get you.
I gotta get those 6
There's
packs
gonna be some nice cinnamon buns waiting for you Monday morning when you get home.
I'm sure there will be.
Spencer, I know you're gonna do everything you set out because you're willing to do the work, and that's what's cool. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.